The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And I am starting with something that I mentioned in this morning's show. The reception of the mayor of New York City, Mamdani, that he received at this weekend's Inner Circle show, charity show done by reporters here in New York City. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. It was so glowing for him. It was as if Michael Jackson in his heyday had walked into the room. And folks, it had me thinking about one of Jackson's hits, starting with The Man in the Mirror. And that's how I try to live my life. That's why I tell you folks the truth every single day. You may not like it. It may be bitter some days. It may be positive. It may be sweet some days, but it's always the truth. And I still remember when Jackson performed his song starting with The Man in the Mirror with no music.
Oh, well, deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
And that's something that perhaps all of us should do. Starting with the man or the woman in the mirror. So Mamdani was a star this weekend and raising a lot of eyebrows. Certainly someone that should look in the mirror these days. Curtis Sliwa.
Mr. 7%.
So much so that Mr. Sliwa should look in the mirror that by Sunday night, and these two newspapers don't agree on anything, the New York Times and the New York Post had stories where New York Republicans are livid at Sliwa, some demanding their money back, their campaign donations back. Sliwa, who was in the audience with his wife, was in a skit cozying up in a pre-recorded skit to Mamdani. And, you know what? He's already talking, Mr. Sliwa. This man is delusional and shameless at the same time. He's already talking about being the Republican nominee in the next race for mayor. Let me be very clear, crystal clear. That will never, ever, ever happen again. Your days in politics are finito. I'm trying my best to pull my words. But Mr. Sliwa, you have become the laughing stock of all of New York. You've been on your last leg for a few years, but you are really done now. And he has someone close to him advising him, and I'm trying my best to pull my words. That is the absolute worst person on earth that he should be taking advice from. 800-848-9222. So I want to hear from you folks, but I especially want to hear from the people that attacked me. When I told you what time it was, when I told you what was going on, when I told you that he was never a serious candidate, that this was all a joke on you, that it was all about his image and his non-stop desire for press attention. 800-848-9222. But we are also thinking about the family of 18-year-old Sheridan Gordon. And I want you to listen to this part of a report from WPIX television here in New York.
A crowd dressed in green and white, Yorktown colors, to honor Sheridan Gorman's fierce love for her hometown, where she was an athlete and leader.
This loss is truly unbearable.
That love being returned to Sheridan's family. her mom, dad, and sister fighting through emotion on stage.
I should be planning her wedding, her college graduation, her bachelorette party, arguing with her about dresses, not standing here trying to figure out how to say goodbye to my baby sister.
And Sheridan, she was our joy, our collective joy. And now that joy is gone.
Her family also describing Sheridan as everyone's cheerleader.
She knew something that all of us could stand to remember. That enthusiasm, that positive thinking, that showing up for each other. It doesn't just win games, it changes lives.
Sheridan was starting to build the next chapter of her life as a freshman at Loyola University, Chicago.
She was just 18, enjoying her college life.
According to Chicago police, Sheridan was with friends along Lake Michigan shoreline just off campus around 1 a.m. March 19th when they were suddenly confronted by a man in a mask who opened fire, killing the college student.
It hurts me to see that this poor family has to go through this, and that some people are saying she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and she was actually with friends doing the right thing. She was a good girl.
The 25-year-old man charged with murder, according to the Department of Homeland Security, is an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela.
Something has to be better in the understanding that lives like Sheridan's, full of promise, full of possibility, deserve to be protected.
That call made as the sun set, along with the promise to always look to the light, even when the darkness feels like too much.
And that from WPIX television. Let's start with some of your telephone calls that I'm going to select at random here. And I'm being honest with you folks. I'm not being my normal self. I'm pulling my punches, almost like a boxer in the boxing ring. I'm trying not to say exactly what time it is and what I really think. I'm trying to be reserved in this situation. 800-848-9222. Let's start with line 2. John in Floral Park. John, what's on your mind? Welcome to the Dominic Carter Show.
Thank you for taking my call, Dominic. I'm a retired police officer, transit, and I didn't have the personal pleasure, but I worked with guys in my unit, task force, that had the pleasure of collaring Curtis and a few of his thugs who went around as vigilantes, not as anybody honorable. And I think that he was just getting back and angry at New York for not embracing him and wanting him as mayor. So I think he felt he had something coming to him, which he didn't, and he just sold New York out. And you were 100% correct from the get-go.
Well, thank you for that, John, but I have to be straight with you, man. I'm saddened. I don't want to be correct. I've known this man for 30 years. I've known his warts and all, right? His biggest downfall is he will do anything for media attention, right? He's been known to fib quite a bit, but he's also lovable. But I begged him not to make this run for mayor. And he tried to coach me on how to fool you guys, the audience. And I don't do that. He tried to give me the exact words to say, literally, to fool you folks on the air into supporting this campaign. And I'm just really saddened, John. I take no glee in this. He has someone that's close to him, that's advising him, is the worst possible person in the world to advise him. But he's listening to that individual, and it is what it is. And he has taken a 30-year legacy and poof, blown it up in smoke all over his desire. You have Republicans. So this is not about me and him anymore, right? He can lie about me all he wants to, right? This is about the Republican Party in New York State, in New York City, that's saying they want their money back. And what is he going to do? Because we all know he's dead broke. And I'm not even going to get into the personal stuff. I see his son every day, one of his sons, the sweetest kid in the world, Anthony. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm going to leave that alone because that would be going personal. Even though he went personal against me, I'm not going to do tit for tat. I'm going to try my best to listen, this hour. And I think I've said just about all that I really want to say. John, thank you for the call here. I see all of your calls are on Mr. Sliwa, so I have no choice but to take them on this topic. Let's go to Rick, line 4 in Queens. Rick, what's on your mind?
What's up, Dominic? First time caller. Listen,
wonderful.
I'm sure you're right with, maybe Curtis shouldn't be running anymore and whatnot, but I have a problem that the Democrats seem to think that, that something's going to change, with them voting the same thing for over 4 decades. Nothing has changed every time.
I don't understand. Wait, Rick, I don't understand your point.
I'm sorry?
I don't understand the point that you're making.
Okay, the point that I'm making is that you guys attacked Curtis, that when he was running at the time, that he would have never won being mayor for this thing. Well, the people don't ever want change, it seems like. They keep voting for the Democrats.
But how could you say they don't want change and they voted in a 34-year-old Democrat socialist? That's as radical as it gets. That's change.
We're at right
how
now.
could you say that they don't want change?
Well, obviously they don't want change. But
no, what you really mean is that they don't want change to the Republican Party, correct?
Well, yeah, obviously, of course, but nevertheless.
Right, but to say they don't want change, that's not true. Did they vote for Eric Adams again? No. Did they vote for Cuomo? No. They voted for a Democrat socialist. So they do want change, but not the type of change that you want. Let's see. Let's go to Judith, line 2 in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Judith?
You know something, in retrospect, because we listened intensively, and I've spoken to him on the air on your show twice, and I kept saying, you know what, you've got the wrong target. Why are you not targeting Mandami? Why are you busy with Cuomo? Why are you busy the whole time? And I sent him money and everything, and he was like, so thing. I feel like he held everybody hostage to him. Everyone.
Absolutely.
He held you hostage.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He tried to blackmail. He tried to blackmail in terms of making us feel bad, every single host. When if it was him talking about one of us running, he'd be the first one to criticize us. But because it's him, for some reason, I don't know what it is, Judith, he thinks that he's this mega star. And again, I'm trying to pull my punches. When he's been on his last leg for the last 10 years, and it hasn't been pretty to watch, to be honest with you. To be completely honest with you. Judith, I want you to do me a favor if you don't mind holding for a few minutes, because I want to continue with you. We're going to get to the other calls. I've got to take a break. Judith, please stay with me. I'll be back in a few minutes. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The question I have: where are all these Sliwa supporters that would call up day after day and tell me I was wrong, I didn't know what I was talking about? I'll clear a line for you to get through. Where are they? They're mighty silent these days, right? So where I'm coming from, I'm going back to Judith in just 1 second so that you understand. It's almost like what I'm doing right now. This is the best way I can describe it to you. It's almost like Mike Tyson, the boxer, fighting at his very best against the old man Muhammad Ali. That's what this is like. Where I'm Mike Tyson and he's Muhammad Ali. And literally Mike Tyson would not be able to hit him the way he should because he had at one point so much respect for him. That's where we are right now in this conversation. I am completely pulling my punches. There are so many things. I could do 3 hours on the sliminess about being a father, about being a shady character, about being a liar, about being a con man. There are so many. I could spend the next 3 hours without a single phone call detailing things. But I'm not doing that. I was just talking to Judith in Brooklyn. Let's bring her back in. Judith, continue with your point, please.
Curtis, you're right. Con artist Curtis, we have to call him. I want you to know, really, he held you hostage, he held Sid hostage, he held John hostage, everyone. And you know, like the poll numbers showed how poorly he was doing. But everybody has to be only loyal to Curtis because it's all about Curtis, not New York, okay? I have to tell you something. Such betrayal, goofing around with this hater Mandami, that tells you all. That tells you all about it, okay? He has no character, all right? It's all about him. And I don't know, I think it's got to do with his wife as well. I remember at one point she was a Bernie Sanders supporter, wanted him to be the president. So she's completely influenced him, could be, I don't know. But Curtis, shame on you. You're a disgracia in your own words, okay? And you are persona non grata. I'm glad you're happy with the millions of bucks, okay? And threw us all under the subway.
Let me just say this, Judith, and again, I'm pulling my punches. Notice I didn't say anything about his wife's radio show, and she was the lead-in before me. And the number one rule in radio is you have to have a good lead-in for ratings to boost your numbers. And I'll just say this. Every Sunday night, I wanted to slit my throat at the start of my show after coming after her. Every Sunday night, I wanted to slit my throat. That's how bad it was in terms of the lead-in that she was giving me. I'm going to pull back now, right? Now, I am going to say this, that this is why me and Sid got into it, because Sid was so loyal to Curtis. Sid pulled me aside and he said, Dominic, his exact words, what do I have to get you to do to say something nice about Curtis? And I said, Sid, I've been the lead City Hall reporter for years. I just can't get on the bandwagon. There's he's got no chance. But Dominic, what can I get you to do to say good? I said, there's nothing you can get me to do. I said, I've tried to help him raise money. That's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes. I can't do anymore. And then that's when Sid and I love Sid and I think Sid loves me. That's when Sid and I got into it because Sid believed in Curtis so much. He advocated for him to me, and I just couldn't do it anymore because I knew it was a straight up con from day one. You have the last word, Judith.
You know what? Nothing shocks me anymore, Dominic. Nothing shocks me anymore. Like, why would I be so surprised? It's such a disappointment. Such a disappointment. It really is. I'm very disappointed.
Thank you, Judith. I want to hear from the Sliwa supporters. Where are you? Where are you? I don't hear you today. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back. Dominic Carter here with you. We're going back to your telephone call. So I finally got a call. I just said to Philippe a second ago, Philippe, every single call is against Mr. Sliwa. Find somebody that's going to side with him, somebody that's going to argue with me. I need somebody on the other side. So we finally have someone, Rich in Connecticut. I'll get to that in just a second. Debbie Lebedo on Twitter, on X says, at Dominic TV. People went after me too, Dom, all in full force on my Facebook page and on Messenger about my changing support for Cuomo. They said I had to vote with integrity for Curtis. And how could I go against Curtis? How did that work out? I love New York more than my hate for Cuomo. That is Debbie Lebedo. And again, this show, folks, remember what I said up front. I'm pulling my punches because there is so much that I could say. And again, I love Sid. This is why Sid and I got into it. He pulled me aside at a party function, and I turned around and he said, "What do I have to do to get you to say something nice about Curtis?" And I said, "Sid, I love you. I love Curtis, but listen, this is a scam. I can't go along with this. I can't do it." I said, "I'll help him raise money. That's one of the things I'm proudest of. If you look at how much money, do you think Curtis Sliwa would have raised all that money on his own? I put my neck on the line, helping him raise money. And what did he do? He turned around and stabbed me in the back. But I'm not going to go there. He went personal. He attacked me. I'm leaving from seeing my dying aunt. I turn on the radio and he's talking trash about me. But I'm not going to go there because I already know. Never mind. I promised someone that I'm going to pull back, so I'm going to pull back. Let's go to Rich in Connecticut, who's in support of Mr. Sliwa, and let's see what Rich on line 2 has to say. Rich, what's on your mind?
Yes. Hi, Dominic. So I'm a longtime Curtis supporter and admirer. I put my money where my mouth is on several campaigns of his. I still admire him. He had the right policies. He's a humanist, and he is hands-on. We know he's...
That's not the issue right now, Rich. The issue is his cozying up to Mamdani. I notice you're not addressing that.
He's a numbers guy also, so he's all the right...
Wait, he's a numbers guy. What does that mean? Wait a minute. We're gonna break this down. He's a numbers guy. What does that mean?
That means he can quote all the numbers about the city.
And you really believe that? You really believe that? Do you really believe that? He was running game for years on the radio, a straight up con man. Do you really believe that, Rich?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, well, you've been bamboozled. Okay, let's go to point number 2. Go ahead.
He was on he made it possible for Democrats to vote.
Okay, you're not dealing with the issue of he was a lead blocker for Mamdani during the debates. The deck was stacked, and now he's up there kissing Mamdani's ass in a skit. Deal with that, please.
It was obscene that Cuomo's...
No. So, okay, wait a minute, Rich. I don't want to cut you off. I'm not going to let you skirt like that and get away from the issue. He's on stage kissing Mamdani's ass in a pre-recorded skit. Deal with that. And Republicans, not me as a Republican, other Republicans that donated to his campaign are one step away from demanding their money back. Respond to that, please.
Well, no, I'm not happy with him doing anything with Mamdani.
Okay, so you still feel that all the other things you said about him outweigh his slickness and that he was conning you all along?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for the call. Let's go here. Let's go to Jay, line 1, New Jersey. Jay, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Dominic. I'm going to tell you, you asked before, what would make Curtis think that he's a megastar? And I'm going to say, you're nice enough to not say, because this is a con on the entire city of New York and beyond that. So I think the reason why Curtis thinks he's a star is because he's an unbridled, severe, narcissist. Curtis Sliwa thinks that he's the greatest. He's not. He's not great at many things. He's not that smart. And that's been true to any objective observer. But he somehow conned a lot of people, and now it's coming out because now you see him clearly collaborating with Mamdani, and his supporters don't even care. So these, to me, are they're really lost people. But to address the point of the contributions, I think the federal government needs to look into this Pam Bondi, the DOJ, because at the state level, they're with Mamdani. Letitia James is not going to look into this. And this was this was a major con, because what the people of New York City thought they had was a Republican and a Democrat running against each other. And what they really had was just a Democrat running himself with the help of a Republican. And that should never happen. And that should have been stopped long before it was allowed to reach this point.
Fair enough, Jay. Thank you for your comment. Let's go to Dennis, line 4, also New Jersey. Dennis, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Dominic, I wanted to bring you up to date. I've been having trouble with reception on my radio, so I wasn't able to get ABC the other day. So I tuned into WOR, and I happened to catch him talking about you, Dominic. I don't know if you heard this, but Curtis was saying that you were involved in a domestic incident. I think he said you hit your wife.
Right, Dennis, you sound like a loaded call. Is there a point you want to make?
What's that?
Is there a point you want to make? Don't stand here and repeat the garbage. No. Don't stand here and repeat the garbage. Do you think I'm stupid? You think I was born yesterday? Do you think I not know what you're doing right now?
No,
you're a loyal fighter in Mr. Sleewa's army, and you're trying to get nonsense out there. Is there anything else that you want to say as it relates to anything else? I don't care what Mr. Sleewa says on his show. And I don't appreciate you calling me with this pre-notion, arguing his point. All you have to do is look at my life. My life speaks for itself. My life is an open book. Okay? Mr. Sleewa's is not. I look at his son every day, the sweetest kid in the world. I'm trying my best not to go there and say what really needs to be said. Is there anything else that you want to say except for making garbage charges about me?
Curtis supporter. Why are you jumping on me, Dominic? I just
cut him off. He's done. You meet Mr. Click. He's done. Don't call up here trying to argue Curtis's points. I'm not the one that's in the skit with Mamdani. I'm not the one that's doing that. I'm not the one that conned you. I'm not the one that's been conning you on the radio for years. And the truth is, I shouldn't say this, his wife should have never had a radio show. Every Sunday night, I wanted to cut my own throat with her as my lead-in. It was absolutely depressing coming into work with her as my lead-in. And that's one of the reasons why he's angry. Because he tries to maneuver he thinks he's so slick. He tries to maneuver for everyone around him, when the truth is, he has been washed up for years. And okay, I gotta get back to pulling my point. Oh, we have another Curtis supporter. So let's go to it. Anthony, West Hampton, Curtis supporter, line 4. Anthony, what's on your mind?
Absolutely a Curtis supporter. I don't think everybody's perfect, Dom. But I felt he tried. You know the details probably better than I do, but I don't think that Curtis being in the race made everybody vote for Mondavi.
Okay, well, Anthony, fair enough. I appreciate what you're saying. But when President Trump begged him several times to get out of the race, top Republicans begged him to get out of the race. You think it was okay for him to stay in? Do you think it was also okay for him to be 2 against 1 in the debates against Cuomo, knowing that the stakes for New York City? He literally was Mamdani's aide in those debates. Do you think that was okay, Anthony?
I think that Cuomo was a nightmare. Okay? I think voting for Cuomo was
No, I got all of that. Please don't waste airtime with that. Deal with what I just said. I got it. You don't like Cuomo. What about the fact that Mr. Sleewa got on that debate stage, would not challenge Mamdani, and only went after Cuomo? What about that? Not once, but twice.
Okay.
And what about the skit this weekend?
I think he could have tweaked that a little better. I think he made mistakes. I think in his own right, he was trying. And maybe you know better than I, Dom, but maybe
Anthony, what I'm trying to tell you, the fix was in from day one. He tried to give me the on-air language to use to fool you people. Literally, on numerous occasions. He tried to give me word for word what to say, to get you people to ignore his true record and to bamboozle you into voting for him. Do you think that's something that candidates should be doing?
No, but I also feel that I just want you to know I'm a diehard Trumper. I've lived and worked in the city for 30 years. I love the city. And we, as Republicans, shame on all of us for not coming up with somebody that was a viable candidate.
Well, he's already talking about running again. Do you think he could be the nominee? Should he be the nominee?
The person you are and the person I am and the president who loves the city, and I love Donald Trump, I truly do, we should then start working now to get someone who's viable. Because
right, I can tell you now, there is no way in the world. He is done. And the real reason he thinks he's so slick, the reason why he didn't come back, and I can't speak for management, I'm only giving you my opinion. He knew what he had did with Mamdani, and he knew that he could not go on these airwaves and be forced to defend that day after day after day. So he switched gears, went to another station, and he's hoping to get a fresh start. He's hoping that no one will remember. Anthony, thank you for arguing the case, at least putting up the case, because I really do want to hear from the people that have been bamboozled by this man. Straight up bamboozled, conned, whatever term you want to use. Thank you again, Anthony. Let's go to Tony, line 1 in White Plains. What's on your mind, Tony?
Yeah, Dominic, I mean, you're a reasonable man, right? Now I want to ask you a question. Do you really think that if Curtis dropped out and he gave all his votes to Cuomo, that Cuomo would win? Do you think
I bet my life on it. I bet my life on it. And I'm an expert at predicting elections. I bet my life on it. It would be Mayor Cuomo. Yes.
If he got all the votes, which that would mean every person that voted for Curtis.
No, that's not what, Tony, here's what you're missing. Elections are also about momentum and timing. And Cuomo would have been peaking right as we were going into the election. I guarantee you Cuomo would have won the election. If you look at it on paper now, Cuomo would have lost by less than 2%. I guarantee you that if Mr. Sliwa had did the honorable thing, it would be Mayor Cuomo right now. But go ahead, Tony.
What I think Curtis was doing, he got the drift from the beginning that your station and you in particular and Sid and the rest of them were against him. So
I wasn't against them. I wasn't against them. I just wasn't going to go for the con. As simple as that.
Playing his cards the other way, like to get even with your station and you.
You know what, Tony? Again, with me pulling my punches, that's what this was all about. I'm so glad that you said that. He called himself by sticking it to all of us. This was about getting even for him. He's felt that he's never been the star that he thinks he is. He's mad that his career is on a decline. I'll repeat. One of the things that when I was told that I was being brought in to the 3 p.m. hour, I was pulled aside immediately and I was told by management, the one thing you better watch is Curtis Sliwa, because his jealousy and his animosity is going to eat him alive that we're putting you into 3 o'clock. And darn enough, that's exactly what happened. He went on the radio talking this, Dominic's in my boot camp, which is ridiculous. What could he teach me? Absolutely nothing. But that's exactly what he did. And management was 1,000% correct that he would be absolutely jealous that I was going into the 3 p.m. slot and not him. And that's the way that he gets down. And listen, let me be very clear. There will be a day. It could be next week. It could be 5 years from now when management will say, Dominic, we're moving you out at 3 o'clock. We've got a hotter young guy that's better than you, and it is what it is. They may not use that language, but that's what it amounts to. And guess what? You accept it with grace and dignity, and you move into the slot that they're putting you into, because one thing that he did say that was accurate, we don't own this microphone. We rent it every day from the owners and the Casamatidis, and they have the final shot, the final call of who's on day out, day in. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts, I'm punting so that we have more time with your telephone calls. It's very hard to get people in support of Mr. Sliwa. So let me take this nut job. Marco in New Jersey, line 1. Marco, what's on your mind?
I just wanted to say, he's got 4 hours of time and you only have 1.
Marco, first of all, I have 2 hours every day. I have 2 hours on Sunday. Also, let's look at audience size. Does that count for anything or no? Let's look at how many people are listening to him and listening to me. Now, I know you're trying to set me up because your next line is going to be, I'm jealous of him. But what are you really saying here? And is that the best you've got? So you're not concerned about the city of New York. You just love to call and hate on people, right?
like to hate on you because I think you're fake. You're fake.
Right, okay, you think I'm fake. Hey, but you know what? I got one for you, Marco. For the next month, you won't be on the air with me.
Dominic is done with you.
Now, laugh at that, homeboy. I find that very funny. You like calling up and, you think you're just so funny. I promise you, for the next month, you will not be on the air with me. How you like that, Marco from New Jersey? Folks, I say this every time that nut job calls. Can you imagine being his woman? Can you imagine going to lunch or dinner with this guy? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? There's no way in the world I can imagine that. Let's go to Joe, line 3, Lynbrook. Joe, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, I happen to agree with you. Curtis should never have been in the race. He did cause New York City elect that mayor they have now. So I have no hat in the game anymore. I live in Nassau County. Okay. And did he win? The only thing he had was Staten Island GOP. Did they actually vote for him in Staten Island?
You already know the answer. The answer is no.
Right. Exactly. And you were absolutely right. He had no chance at all. And he is bitter.
He's been bitter for a very long time. I'll say again, why do you think management, they didn't warn me about anybody else except for him when they moved me into this hour? Private conversation. Dominic, keep an eye on him. He's going to be very jealous. He's going to be trying to set you up. Why do you think I was warned about him in particular?
Oh, no, you're absolutely correct. And I know, and his wife, I'm going to say you can't, his wife is whispering in his ear.
You hear the crickets? You hear those crickets? I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to say someone very close to him is nutty and giving him the worst advice possible. You hear the crickets? That's all I'm going to say. That's all. Somebody very close to him has him in this position. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that.
Can I say it?
You can say whatever you want, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh, I can say it. It's his wife. And if he's going to run for a third time, then he'll be a 3-time loser.
No, he won't get the nomination this time. So thank you for the call. Let's go to Dave in Westchester. It says he's mad at me for going after Curtis. Go right ahead, Dave.
Hey, well, I'm not mad at you anymore, but I was mad when it first happened because, I honestly, in all honesty, Cuomo stinks.
Okay, I got that. You don't like Cuomo. Okay, but what are you mad at when Mr. Slee was in a skit this weekend kissing Mamdani's ass? What are you mad at?
Well, no, I'm not mad anymore at all. I think you're a great guy. But the thing is...
Okay, I got to go. I'm sorry. Folks, born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been honoring America's heroes ever since. Donate $11 a month. Amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. I'm back at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder, what the heck is going on here?